Hi guys, welcome to Sweet Fix. Today we're going to talk about how to plant a fig tree, but this also applies to pretty much all fruit trees that you want to plant. So the first thing you want to do is check the sun. So for me, my backyard fence is in the south, so I'm gonna get sun from the east all the way to the west. So it's gonna be like 10 12 plus hours of sun. So that is the first thing we have to check. The second thing we have to check is check your soil and see if there's any water logging. For example, I'm gonna step away a little bit. There's my mini wiener Avi. In this section right here in my yard, when it rains, water tends to accumulate and waterlog. So this place is not a very good place for planting fruit trees. So originally I was planting a line of fruit trees, and then after the first year my wife kind of fell in love with figs, and she allowed me to plant a few more rows of fig trees. So I know I can plant here because this area, even though I'm gonna showcase in a few, this is clay soil, very heavy clay soil. This area right here, like I show you, it tends to waterlog, so this is not a great place to plant a fruit tree. The third topic we have to check is how far should we plant trees. So I'm doing 7 to 8 feet apart. It depends really on your space. Fig trees and some fruit trees tend to get really big, so we had to be careful with that. But one of the things you have to do every year is going to be pruning. You're going to have to control the size of your trees with pruning, heavy pruning if you can. I live here in California and our trees grow a lot, so we can go away with the pruning, heavy pruning on the trees. I want to show you something. So here's a tree that I planted last year, and I have clay soil, so depending on the soil you have, you might need to plant your trees in a mound. So here's my panache. It's going dormant now, it's dropping leaves. If you can see, my panache is planted in a mound, and this is going to allow the tree to not get waterlogged if at some point it gets a lot of water, because it is clay, right? I try to mend around the tree, but also we need to try to plant the trees high. Here's my Colidam Noir. You can also see that he's planted in a mound. Here's my cherry cordell. He's also planted in a mound, and you will see that as big as the tree gets in a container, the bigger the container, the more in the mound that you will have to plant the tree. Now, soil amendments. Some people say that you shouldn't amend your soil, but in very heavy clay soil, I think it's necessary so the tree gets a better soil around it, and the roots can grow a little bit better, and then the stronger roots can actually go and grow into the clay. Here you can see where I planted my tree. This was in a 25 gallon, so you can see that the tree is in a very big mound. I barely made a scratch in the clay and then pretty much mounted the tree. It will depend on how big is the pot and how thick is the clay. So that is another example right there. Something interesting is that in my yard I have like 2 types of soil. I have some sandy clay mix, like this one right here, and I'm gonna take some of this soil that you see right here that is not so clayey, and I'm gonna mix it with compost to plant the tree. But looking at your soil and checking different places, because you might have better soil in one place than the other. and this is very close. It's not too far away, so just take that into account. Okay, now I have my tree here. My tree, I think, is in a it was a 3-gallon tree. This is a JH Adriatic tree. I love Adriatic figs, and I've been looking for this one for a long time. So I already measured. I'm using this piece of wood to measure the spacing in the trees, and now I'm gonna make a hole that is roughly 3 or 4 times this small tree. And I'm doing that only because I have grass here, so I want to give some space around the grass. And I'm gonna use some wheat fabric, very thick plastic wheat fabric, to heal the grass around the trees. That's what I'm gonna use, because I don't want to go with herbicide and spraying the trees and then eating that on my fruit. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then I want to show you the clay that I have here. So this is very thick clay that I have here. You can give this to kids to play like Play-Doh, and they will be able to play with this. It's super thick, super compacted. You can see right here. This is the soil that I have in my yard. And this is the soil, the sandy, kind of sandy and clay that I showed you earlier. And then I have some compost here at the bottom. Let me show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this compost and clay and sandy soil, and I'm going to plant my tree using this. I also like to try to break down the clay a little bit, and then I'm gonna mix it with my compost and sandy soil that I have there, so the trees can get a little bit of clay and kind of know what's coming. So I'm gonna play fetch with Abby because she loves to play fetch. Abby, fetch. She loves to play fetch all day. And then after I mix the soils, this is what it looks like. It has a way better consistency for the trees. And now I'm just gonna backfill the hole with this amendment soil that I did. And then I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna place the tree. Now you're gonna see that I almost fill it all the way to the top with the amendment soil. And now I just took the tree out of the bag that it came from. The tree looks very good, very healthy. The roots are a little bit circled, but nothing crazy. It's totally okay. And now we're gonna place it here in the hole. You can see that is a little bit above grade, and I'm gonna actually put it a little bit more and then make it higher. Now you're gonna see that the tree is now slightly above grade, and that's what you want. You don't want to plant your trees low, you want to plant them high. And now I'm gonna continue and backfill around the tree and push gently so all the roots have a good contact with the soil. Now after the tree has been completely planted, and you can see there is in a mound, right? Now how big of a mound? It depends. Let me show you another example. I have my caracara oranges planted the same way. Also I planted another Satsuma mandarin this week, and this is my Galicia Negra. I really just cut in this year, and you can see how big of a mound is this. And that is because this specific section tends to accumulate more water for some reason. I don't know why. So you definitely have to go with the planting higher in the mound. Also, I'm not adding any fertilizer because the tree is dormant, and dormant trees don't actually need fertilizer. So once the tree wakes up, I'm probably gonna add some bone meal, and also some chicken manure, which fig trees love when they're in ground. And also I'm gonna add some mulch. Like I'll tell you, I'm planning to put wheat fabric all around my trees, at least a big circle, which is gonna kill the grass around the trees, because I'm gonna avoid, I want to kill all the grass and competing weeds around my trees. And let me show you another success example. So this is my Smith tree. This tree was, let me show you, it has a super thicker trunk, and this was planted on May this year. It's starting to go dormant now, but the tree has grown beautifully. And I've been taking cuttings and changing cuttings with other growers for months now, and the tree is extremely happy in this heavy clay soil. So just plant high on clay soil and never plant low. That's pretty much the rule. Now, when to plant a tree, that is going to depend pretty much on your zone. We are in the Central Valley of California, which is 9B, and our summers are extremely brutal. So the best time actually to plant a tree is late fall, when the temperatures are dropping about 75 to 80 degrees, so the trees can acclimate and actually grow some roots and then go dormant, have the whole spring with nice weather, and that way they can support the heavy dry summers that we have here. If you live in a colder zone, probably spring will be the best time for you, and also adding some winter protection. We're 9B, so we don't have to provide any winter protection to our trees, but that will depend your zone. That's why I like to have I would like you to follow Facebook groups in your specific zone, so you can share tips with other growers that are closer to you. And also, after planting, it's a good idea to give a drink to help the soil settle down around the tree and keep the tree roots moist. I don't have any rain coming in the next 2 weeks, so I think it's a good idea to water, because I have no irrigation running right now, and it's a good idea to give some water to the tree. And that's it. That's how you plant a tree in heavy clay soil.